Hello friends, welcome to our YouTube channel. My name is Rahul. Today we will discuss about introduction to design of concrete. We are going to see what is concrete, what are the objectives of concrete structures, what are the properties of concrete structures, what are different types of floors, what is design criteria, and what are different methods of designing concrete structures. What is concrete? Concrete is basically mixture of cement, aggregate, water, and admixture. In case of aggregate, it may be coarse aggregate or fine aggregate. So, mixing of all these things is called concrete, or we prepare concrete on site. Although there is one more thing, ready mix concrete, or we can say precast concrete is also used. Ready mix concrete is specifically manufactured for consumer construction project and supplied to consumer on a site as a single product. Also, concrete compressive strength is very high, but tensile strength is very low, almost negligible as compared to compressive strength. Engineering Development and Research Center in Chennai is example of concrete structure. We know it very well. In RCC structure, there are two main materials. One is concrete and another one is steel. When we apply load in a structure, stress induced in a concrete as well as steel. When stress is induced in a structure, there is a limit. The stress induced in a structure up to a certain limit or critical value. These critical values are already mentioned in IS codes. Now, we will discuss these objectives of concrete structures. Firstly, stresses should not exceed critical value. For example, in 2013, seven-story building collapsed in Maharashtra. After investigation, found that reason of failure is use of substandard and construction material. So, load should not exceed critical value. Another thing is that if you look here, this flyover is basically overturned. Here, 40-meter curve is failure of flyover. My point here is that this bridge is not collapse of material strength. It is failed due to instability. So, overturning, buckling, and sliding should be prevented. Finally, what you are designing, it should be serviceable. It should have long life. The structure should be durable in different types of environmental conditions. Serviceability basically consists of stiffness, deflection, impermeability, and durability. So next, what are the properties of concrete? I will explain these properties about concrete like grade, characteristic, strength, modulus of elasticity, tensile strength, creep, etc. First of all, what is grade of concrete? Grade is a word used to represent compressive strength of concrete. So, how to measure compressive strength? In simple way, we just cast some concrete cube of 150 mm dimension, and after casting this concrete, we check its compressive strength using compressing testing machine after 28 days. Characteristic strength is measured in megapascal. After finding strength, we have representation method. M refers to mix and number refers to strength of material after 28 days. IS code divides the grade of concrete into three forms. We can easily divide the concrete into different grades, but when we are going to perform an experiment, basically suppose we have prepared design mix and we make concrete cube of 150 mm. Point is that if we prepare a lot of concrete, even we collect them from same mix, but their compressive strength is not same. Now, problem arises how we define strength of concrete. We here use concept of characteristic strength. It is defined as the strength of material below which not more than 5% results are expected to fail. Next is modulus of elasticity. There are three types of modulus. Using these terms, Indian standard codes are already specify a formula. This empirical formula is based on experimental data. AC is equal to 5000 root of FCK. Next is tensile strength. Tensile strength is 7 to 15% of compressive strength. Modulus of rupture is basically theoretical maximum tensile stress reached in extreme fiber. Based on experimental data, IS code give a empirical formula for a modulus of rupture. This formula relates a relation between tensile and compressive strength. FCR is equal to 0.7 root of FCK. Now, let's move to another important concept, which is creep. Creep is basically time-dependent component of total strain. So there will be strain in a material. One is instantaneous strain, which develops because of applied load at the time of construction. Another one is creep strain. This strain is developed in the long time, for example after 1 month or 1 year. And the ratio of creep strain to the instantaneous strain is called creep coefficient. The value of theta is already given in IS code. So formula of effective modulus of elasticity will be ACE is equal to EC to 1 plus theta. Introduction to loads. Basically, to design a structure, first of all, we have to estimate the accurate number of types of load. Here, finding the type of load is one thing, and finding the possible combination of applied load is another important thing. For example, you are designing a highway. You have to think what should be the possible combination of load. We can say that what will be the heaviest weight that can pass through a bridge on any time. Suppose two vehicles are passing and snow is also falling and wind is also blowing. So to find the possible combination of combined load, you should also learn about types of loads. That is, we divide loads into three parts: dead loads, live loads, and environmental loads. If we talk about dead load, basically loads of constant magnitude that remain in one position is called dead load. It includes the weight of structure as well as weight of column or beams, etc. Next is live load. Load that can change in magnitude and position. Suppose we are organizing a party, so load of number of people can change. On the other hand, load of traffic on a bridge, that is number of vehicles passing through a bridge. Impact load due to vibration of moving load. On the other hand, load due to stopping of train on a bridge. On the other hand, soil pressure on wall and hydrostatic pressure on dam. In case of retaining wall, you have to consider live load of soil. Also, in variation of water pressure in dam. These all loads are caused by gravity. Finally, if we talk about environmental loads, loads caused by environment in which structure is located, like snow, ice, rain, wind, and earthquake load. Now, move to another important topic: what is design criteria? Why it is important for us? My point here is that the design criteria of a structure may be regarded as: first, you should know the process of selecting proper material, like which type of grades are used, and then proportional elements of the structure. We have to design the dimension of structure. To do these two tasks, we need art, engineering science, and technology. There are three types of design methods: working stress method, limit state method, method based on experimental approach. In this method, designers may perform experimental investigations on structure. Working stress method. Working stress method is also known as traditional method. This theory is also used for steel as well as timber. Now, let's talk about concept of this method. Structural member behaves in a linear elastic manner, then permissible stress are kept below the material strength. In this method, members are designed to never go beyond their elastic range. Let in graph strength of material is 500 Newton per mm square. We will not use this for design purpose. We basically divide it with factor of safety. So allowable stress is equal to ultimate stress divided by factor of safety. According to BIS, factor of safety for concrete is 3. Now move to another important point for this method. When we apply load, stresses induced in a material, and we can calculate them using principle of strength of material. IS code says that working stress method may be used only if it is not applicable to adopt the limit state design. Drawbacks of working stress method. Firstly, the actual stress of concrete is not described. It's assumed to be elastic. Second is, same factor of safety is used for different types of loads. Third is, the failure mode can't be absorbed. Fourth is, the warning before failure can't be studied precisely. We are going to for new trend, that is limit state method. Currently, it is very famous. This method is advancement over traditional method, and it is plastic design method. Limit state method represents comprehensive and rational solution to design problems. It gives better solution, like working stress method, which is based on calculation of working stress of material alone. If we talk about concept, there are two main things: safety at ultimate load and serviceability, and working load. For these two factors, we use multiple safety factor by considering limit state. Limit state means acceptable limit for safety and serviceability requirement before failure occurs. What is multiple safety factor? In simple, we define some factor of safety for materials and loads. There are two formats to represent multiple safety factors. One is called load and resistance factor design format. On the other hand, here is partial safety factor format. In India, we use partial safety factor format. In partial safety factor format, we have certain criteria that design resistance should be greater than or equal to design load effect. In design resistance, we reduce the material strength using partial safety factor. On the other hand, in design load effect, we enhance load using partial safety factors. Now, what is the difference between working stress method and limit stress method? Firstly, working stress method is an elastic method, but limit stress method is a plastic method. Secondly, in working stress method, members are designed to never go beyond their elastic range, that is, we divide with factor of safety. But in limit state method, the stresses is allowed to go beyond their yield limit and enters into plastic zone to reach ultimate strength. Third difference is working stress method is a stress-based method. Here we relate with modular ratio, but limit stress method is strain-based method. Fourth difference is working stress method is a deterministic approach. Means here we put the value in a formula and get the result. But limit state method is a non-deterministic method. Means there are different types of combination, so give different types of result. Next difference is in working stress method, factor of safety is used to find allowable stresses, but in limit state method, partial safety factors are used for design. If you have any queries, question, you can comment in the comment section. And thanks for watching.